The Member of Parliament for Dagoretti North Constituency is the Honourable Beatrice Elach, and she's with us this morning. Good morning.
Morning, dear. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a while since we've had a conversation.
Yes.
But we have seen you. And so thank you for being in the room this morning.
Thank you.
Before we get into this conversation, because I see you laugh at that, Dennis has taken us to a different African country this week.
Okay.
And then to hear the proverb, we'd love to hear your interpretation.
Good.
Today we are in Mali, a country of 22 million people, rich in gold, and that helps in pushing forward the country's economy. So there is one person called Mansa Musa, the richest person ever to be known, right? And him being the leader or the emperor at the time. Imagine the amount of gold deposits that were there at the time that he was regarded as the wealthiest person in the world. But the proverb that we get from the people of Mali this morning, when you start to understand that there isn't one more day, but there's one less, we will start giving more value to the things that truly matter. How would you interpret it?
Okay, so you want to interpret it back home or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Oh, good.
Interpretation is yours.
Well, for me, I'll just say this. It's not really about what you amass, because it depends on how... When I look at Mali, I mean, I know the challenges the Mali people are facing is quite... You can't even say they have the gold anyway.
Yeah.
So do we say... it's for us. It's a lesson to all of us Kenyans that you don't need to amass all these things. They won't even help you if your neighbor is still crying there. So always remember, have what's best for you. And remember, if your neighbor doesn't have, then you still have a challenge, because that neighbor will be a challenge to you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. So things keep changing, but more seems like they may remain the same. And so once we are asking about what's going on with the broad-based government, whether ODM is still intact, whether there is still a broad-based agreement in terms of who's doing what, where are we with that, the broad-based government, first of all, before we look into whether there are cracks or whether people are agreeing or not agreeing or what exactly is going on?
Well, for me, I'll say this. You see, one of the things with the broad-based, it depends on everyone how they look at it. Definitely, I will be biased because I'll say I'm in that broad-based. So maybe I'll not be very objective on how I bring it out. But for me, the most important thing I'll ask myself, based on the four who went into government, what are they doing for Kenyans? Are they delivering as we had wished, and are they following what we had wished? If that's the reason, I will say we are there. I think the most important thing when we joined Broad-Based was to see Kenya move forward. Yes. And many people look at it differently. But for me, I just feel the late Baba felt if we leave Kenya this way, we collapse. Do we want Kenya to collapse? And I remember in that room, he asked us, do you want to go the Egypt way? Or do you want Kenya to move? And he said, I will never want to see the army on the streets. We must save Kenya. And I think that is where still we are. People will judge it differently. I don't know what Kenyans wanted. Maybe Baba did a mistake to save Kenya. We don't know. We don't know whether we wanted to taste some war like Rwanda and then we wake up. We don't know. Because you will ask, because that was his path. His path was just peace. Then organize everything that we know is not doing well and try and see if you can awaken and then bring Kenya to 2027. And I think that's the roadmap we have. Yeah,
I think even with the broad-based arrangement being there and Kenya coming together, there was the fact that now the opposition would come into government, they would work together to ensure that the country moves forward. But what you're treated to right now, especially in the position of the deputy president, there is what ODM is saying, Wycliffe Oparanya as well being touted to be the most formidable candidate to become the deputy president come 2027. But then again, within the broad-based government as well, we have Kithure Kindiki. We've heard what the Cabinet Secretary, Geoffrey Ruka, as well has said, and even called out names.
Yeah.
And with that, one asked the question, this unity that was supposed to bring Kenya together and move forward seemingly is cracking. What's happening within broad-based?
Well, I think for that, it's people now realigning themselves, that's what I'll say, to see whether in 2027 now they can take over the position. I don't think anyone is there to remove Kindiki now. So the deputy president has to work his way and come to the elections. By the way, the elections will be very interesting because I know one thing that messed our country is the day we decided to start saying we can have shares, we messed it. And so every tribe and every region went back to look for these shares. And they are in these regions, they have gone completely, in another nutshell, I would say, now everyone has believed if you don't have numbers, then you don't count. So everyone is down there registering people and everyone is just bringing out. So it will depend on the numbers. And at that time is when now we can really say, oh, have you removed the deputy president? Is it my leader, Oparanya? Or is it somebody else? You know. But the most important thing I would plead with ODM, for me, it's not about only that. You know, you can have that, but don't have numbers in parliament. Then why? The most important thing we must focus as ODM is to have numbers in parliament. There you have a say. There you can now bring all these things you want. The day you have numbers in the house. And I wish we can focus on that. What did Baba leave as of ODM in terms of numbers in parliament? Are we able to bring back that? And even if you lose a bit, but are you able to still be amongst the strongest and the largest in terms of your numbers?
And are you right now, from all that's going on, can ODM really say that it holds that?
Yeah, we are still. Yes, we are still. We are still the large. Yes. Because the good thing, you see now in regions of Baba, the key regions were Northeastern, Western, Nyanza, Coast, Turkana, and Ma. Now, in the Ma, I do not want to lie here. I know now they have started realigning themselves. So, yes, we will see a different Ma come 2027. But then the other regions are still the regions that supported Baba are still the same. They have not changed quite much. In Turkana, it was a mixture. It was a mixture of ODM and UDA. And so where the areas that were ODM, you still go there, you still find they are very strong. So that's what I can put today. You never know with politics tomorrow. But for now, those regions are still strong. Yes. And the good thing with ODM, it's not like any other party you see today. Because one of the things Baba ensured was to make this party a grassroots party. That's why he would come out himself and he doesn't need to use resources the way people use so much resources. But he used resources, yes, but people will still come out to listen to him. Now, the party is in the people, not us. Any leader who comes and tells you here, I'm a leader, the party of ODM is with the grassroots he created. And that structure is very strong on the ground that it commands you on what you need to do. And so that even in Nairobi here, you will say, oh, Nairobi is this. Nairobi, we are split from the time on memorial that I have understood the politics. Since we did the boundaries in Nairobi, we splitted Nairobi into two phases. One phase of 8 constituencies supported Baba to date. One phase will have a mixture. And that's how it is. And that's how the people within those areas have lived.
How would you reckon the broad-based arrangement has dented ODM's presence across the country? Would you reckon that as we sit today, that ODM has lost ground, or has it maintained, especially now as we talk about even the new entrants in the game. We talk about Linda Bonanchi and we see like what it is they're doing. Would you reckon that through broad-based arrangement, ODM has lost some of its bases?
You remember, even before Baba passed on, I think those cracks were already there. I would tell you, my senator and Babu never wanted this thing of broad-based. So it was there even before Baba passed on. And with that, you respect that. What we need to now ask ourselves will be an answer after this election. But for now, we are trying to hypothesis and all that. The real answer will come after the elections that's when we can stand here and say, we told you the party that has been there more than 20 years cannot just be eroded like this. But for now, yes, the cracks will be there. But the most interesting thing, I'll tell you this. So I vied in the Dagoretti North. The first time, I lost. Second, I lost. Why? I was reminded 100 times, we cannot vote for you when you're in this party. But you are good. But we are not voting for you because you're in this party. Now, when are they telling me that? On the line of the election. On the day of the election. And it is the most unfortunate, because you can't change anything. But they are telling you now then. So I have always said, I have come to learn, we can do all this. But let me tell you, elections are a very interesting thing. And you can find a lot of surprises. So it's not something either side can ignore. But this is what I would say. If I was looking for the presidency today, I can see you have to go to a region and command that region. So if you want to really put a foundation that now you're moving to become a presidential candidate or even a deputy, you must come with what I started with. You must show those numbers. And those numbers are not the ones we show the way we are running all over. No. Those numbers, you go and stay just the way we call Rigidi all his name, fine. But that is one thing you must do in your region. It has to sink in the mind. And especially if you know in that region, they have voted in a certain pattern for 20 years. You know, some people are not listening. Well, we might think, everyone is just listening to this. I can tell you on the day of the vote, you'll find an ODM person, as long as he sees an orange, the way they have been seeing, they will vote an orange. I can tell you. Because of how you have always, for 5 elections, seeing that. So if you want to change it, do you know you have to go and sit down and talk exactly why you want this change? And what ideology are you bringing in? Because there's an ideology also that made them believe in that. Yes. So it's not an easy thing. It is work that needs to be done, and very seriously, for anyone who thinks. It is work even as ODM members, we are working and saying there was an ideology we believed in. We cannot kill it now. And there was something, whether the vision bearer is there or not there, he believed he would want to see that Kenya. Is it possible to make that Kenya? Yeah. Is it possible to bring the ideologies he believed in and make it work for Kenya? And I think that's the most important thing, that we as those who believe in ODM, the ODM of the vision bearer, must be thinking that way. Yes.
Do you think, for whom do we have to prove that these numbers exist, or that to whom?
Well, it is not to whom. You see the number. Like for me, see, I'm a politician, so I know my numbers. Yeah. You don't need to prove to me. I need to sit down and look at that register and ask myself, how am I clustering to get these numbers for me to win? And I believe every politician is doing that. Because in Kenya, I don't want to lie here that in Kenya, now we can vote. We can just wake up and go vote. Now my daughter or my sons who are Gen Zs No. We will be lying to Kenyans completely. The day of the vote, we become a Luya, a Kikuyu, I don't know, a what? We forget Kenya. We forget. And that is why we will tell you, we don't even care what you're going to do. As long as it's the name of our people, we are voting. That's how sad it is. Baba tried very much. And that's why you'll find himself spreading all over Kenya. He really tried to see if can ideology work. And people believed in that. But look at what they believed in. They believed in the injustices they had gone through, that Baba will make sure we work around it. And for sure, he tried. You bring in the new constitution. He knew with all this structure of government, our people will never see this. So let me push for devolution to see it work, that you can get national resources to help the counties. Why did he do that? Because he knew in this country there will be some areas where whether you do what, you will never see national government. Yes. And that is the bond, that is the quiet disgruntle that maybe people have, but they don't talk about it. They say it, but when it comes now to the real vote, you see them now saying that. Yeah. And that's why they stood with him for all those years.
Yeah.
So we have to ask ourselves, how do you also change that so that the young people can come out in any way, as long as we are Kenyans, and vote for, we believe in this Kenya, without thinking, where does he come from? And I don't know, my prayer, I thought we will be able, as we go to 2027, 2032, that we can reorganize and have that move.
Yeah.
But you see, we have gone back. In fact, we are retrogressing every day. We are back into very deep, very sad politics. Where we have reached, we say, you can't come this region. And this other one will say, you can't step in our region. That is dangerous politics. That kills the spirit of completely young people. It kills the spirit of, for us who were born in mixed families. We find it very difficult because now your trust becomes wavering. They don't know whether you're this side or this side, But for me, my conscience is very clear. Where I want to go, where I would wish to see the country. Yes. So those are the challenges we are going to face.
Yeah.
But they are not it's not the right way, the way we are doing it.
Yeah. You talked about ODM and its ideologies that the late Honorable Raila Odinga carried with him for the 20 years of him being the leader of ODM. And with that, then one would have to ask the question with the broad-based government, first of all, does ODM carry the baggage of the UDA government in terms of delivery, in terms of injustices that have been committed? Because you talk about the broad-based government and the agenda that was there. Among those things was to end extrajudicial killings. Yet 1 year later again, we see Kenyans die. And ODM is in broad-based government. Abduction, still something that is happening today. So does ODM, in terms of ideology, has it failed? And does ODM as well take the baggage of the UDA government? Because you're in government together.
Well, and that's why I said it was the most difficult decision that the vision bearer carried. Did you want to see Kenya go down so that UDA goes? Or do you want to be today at work and do your work and then think of a strategy of how to work in? I think that is the most difficult thing. And now, for now, we have 1 year to election. Isn't it fair we finish Kenya where he wanted? Then we break it ourselves now, the way we want to break it? I think so. I will carry his vision to the end, to see Kenya, regardless of all this that we are facing. I would rather I wake up in the morning, drive the way I have come, do something small and go. Knowing very well, yes, there are challenges, but I'm able to walk and see, am I able to do a strategy to change those challenges? Is the most important thing. Because even if we had left UDA, then Sudan, is that where we were? Because you can leave. do the same way Sudan did. But now today, where is Sudan?
But Mheshimiwa, Kenyans were not fighting each other at the time. Kenyans were only expressing themselves over what you, members of parliament, were deciding in that house. Because Kenyans had expressed themselves and their reservations against Finance Bill of 2024. It is members of parliament, you seated
but
in
you
that
see
house,
then, that's what I'm asking.
Who did not listen to Kenyans. So Kenyans
I listen.
were not
you see the problem also, you baggage us, even though I even wonder, why did I vote even that? No. I also wonder, because nobody wanted to hear anything, isn't it? So even the few of us who refused on it, who kept on reminding, who came on all the studios explaining and saying, we became a baggage, isn't it? Did we do right? No. Did we do wrong? No. But we became a baggage. And so you wonder, you ask yourself, why was I even in it? Yeah. So the question then will be, the same way you are saying, so would we have remembered? Are you forgetting even ODM, we were very angry at that time? And we could have decided Baba was supposed to take government. Weren't we even going to make it then? We take government. Yeah. That's what we are asking. Oh, you're forgetting we forgot. No, we never forgot.
But you joined the government, and it seems as though all of those things have, the things that you say that you were angry about, Mheshimiwa, what were those things? And have you ceased to be angry about them? And if so, what has changed about those things? Because I remember the Sufuria movement very clearly, and that ODM seemed to have, led the charge on the Sufuria movement specifically. And this was soon after President William Ruto came into power.
Yes.
Those issues, by and large, still remain the same for Kenyans today.
But then let me ask, are we saying, because it's all our responsibility, all of us, because where I stay, I need to ask myself, what am I doing there to just transform, isn't it? So it's a responsibility of all of us. Fine. Yes, we joined. Yes, we have done our best in some issues. Oh, yes. Some, we know there are still challenges. Big challenges that you need to sit down and ask yourselves together, because it's not about President William. It's not about him. It's about the country. The country goes beyond him and everyone. Yeah. And so the question now will be, have we sat down? We have realized, yes, this is a challenge. This is a challenge. In 1 year's time, we are saying a few of these things, and I think we've tried our best, even in the budget, to reorganize it back. To reorganize even those, you find ourselves with revenues that we felt, these are very high revenues on people. And I think starting from this new financial year, and the finance bill of this year, you look at it, we have really reorganized many of these things that people were complaining. The question will be then, when will someone feel it? When will someone get to know this is now working in a different way, the way it was working on this? And maybe we need to just ask Buddy to come and explain a few of those things and say, yes, when we came in, this was worse. We are here now, his first financial bill, which is this one, this and this has to work this way. And then maybe Kenyans will start getting that awareness on how to do it. Because even if we do all these things, it cannot be that in every time when we get to an election is when we remember these challenges. It is wrong even to Kenyans.
As you say some of these things, some dreams are yet to be fulfilled. And one of the words you talk about is that you said we're going to fight until the bitter end to make sure some of these dreams come true, to get Kenya to come from a place where it was to where it should be. There seems to be a new dream in town, and that's a 2060 dream. So we went from an economic model to the broad-based government, which for all intents and purposes, folks are still trying to grapple with what exactly that was supposed to achieve. And you seem to think that we need to let some of those who are in that broad-based government to come and tell us exactly what was happening, or what has been happening. Well, no sooner than has that happened, there's now a 2060 dream. And this is where Kenya is being taken. Are you part of this dream?
You see now, okay, the question then will be, 2008 came up with a Vision 2030. That was in 2008 when we launched Vision 2030.
Mm-hmm.
Today we are here going closer to 2030, and I believe we must learn through the lessons and the achievements and the challenges you faced while bringing the dreams that we believed in, the developments and all that, and you move it to another vision. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So what will the vision be? Do Kenyans want it to be Vision 2040, Vision 2050, or do you want to do another 30 years and look at it as you learn from the lessons that you've had?
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be the clarion call.
Or should it be that the things that you wanted to achieve in Vision 2030, that you do an audit of them and see what you actually did,
I believe,
and then perhaps finish it?
But well, you won't even finish. I believe that's what you're supposed with. I'm thinking, in the dream of your 2060, as I have said, you're looking at the lessons you've learned through Vision 2030, the developments you've done through Vision 2030, and the challenges, which I know the biggest challenge in Vision 2030 is the public debt because of the huge developments that we had. So as you move to Vision 2060, how do you deal especially with the challenges that you see within Vision 2030? And because the challenge we are facing today is that anything the president says, since he's an enemy of everyone, you think it's a bad thing. No, we have to come out now objectively. It's not about him. Will he be there 2060? No. So it's about those who will be there. Will I be there? No. But there are those who will be there. Kibaki did it for us. He's not there. But we have carried this vision. And I think that's what we should now stop personalizing it into the person, but look at the country. And let us ask ourselves, how do you sit down and create a Vision 2060, which already the AU is working on 2063, and borrow from? Or else you'll find yourselves, countries have moved on, because even all these things, when you look at Vision 2063 of AU, you realize the education system is this system all of them borrowed in. This CBE. But because as we had removed from 5 and 6, the other countries did not grapple so much, because Uganda still does Form 5 and 6, Tanzania still does the same, Rwanda does this. It's only Kenya where we moved out and did a model of the American system. So we have to ask ourselves, how are we moving there? So for me, we remove the person and we focus to us. You have 2 years or 3 years to finish this vision, as we had said. Audit it. Look at it and see.
So you do think it's necessary
It is
to
necessary.
complete a vision, audit it first, before you imagine that you can go to another one 20, 30 years later? I mean, I'll give an example that people keep giving. China is, you wouldn't believe it, but they're still within the vision plan, the 60-year plan.
Yeah.
They're still within it.
Yeah.
But they have, with subsequent governments, have come in to say, this is where we have reached, and with the original plan, we're going to keep going.
Yes.
To the point that they've developed, they are light years ahead. It's just that we've not been able to really see what that is.
Yeah.
But they didn't go to the next one having not completed the previous one. So what I'm hearing you say is that it is necessary to complete this one, at least look at the key markers, see where you have achieved, failed, before you even make a mention of going to another vision.
No, but the mention has to be there, because you must start the team. You know, you can't build it also here. Definitely no. I mean, not here, but you can't just build it the way we are saying. It's a team you put in place, isn't it? And I'm thinking, this team must audit first the Vision 2030 so that you get the parameters the same way we did the Millennium Goals and the SDGs. So before we entered the SDGs, we audited the Millennium Goals.
And you had seen that you had made some strides.
Yes.
In fact, the world, the United Nations had seen we'd made some strides with stakeholders. They came together and said, okay, fine. Now these MDGs will now become SDGs because we have made particular strides.
Yes.
Can Kenya do the same thing?
It has to do the same.
So should we be having a conversation about where we are going without an audit of where we are? This is my question. Because we've encapsulated people now in this almost, confused euphoria about, now we're going somewhere else. Without actually having seen where we're coming from.
We are coming from. But I think so. We've also, is there a day our country will look at the country without putting in politics? It's something we need to pray and ask ourselves that question.
Is that possible?
It is possible. It's just how you decide to narrate your ways. If you decide it has to be always in politics, it will be in politics. But the day we say, now, we are not in politics of the game, but we are saying, this is Kenya, our country. Now, how do we move? It's something that I know many Kenyans would wish to see us also engage without making the spices of politics in it. So for me, Vision 2030, 2060. 2063 is also there. I doubt whether Kenyans understand that there are things the AU are doing that will also affect us or build us if we don't follow through. And so we just need to have a team. That should be the first step. Put in the team, let them audit and come out with a report and say, in your Vision 2030, you envisioned to have all these things that I see today. You envisioned to have all these roads, there, railways. It was a huge vision of how you industrialize Kenya. And that vision will move on because we've not really industrialized the country. We are still walking that journey. So some of the issues will be carried through and must continue. They are continuous until you achieve them. Yeah. And then there are new ones that are now coming up that you need to ask yourself as a country, how do we handle it? And I think after we went back into realism, because most countries today are more of themselves. It's not the way we would find countries opening up. Most countries, even America, you realize they've gone back into serious realism. So ask Kenya, how do you work in? How do you? So there are many geopolitical issues and regional issues that will affect even the vision as we move. Yeah. But as you say, I agree. Let's audit Vision 2030 and package it well as you carry and make sure the challenges you faced here, you get right parameters or indicators or whatever you'll call them to show you how you're going to deal with them.
I mean, when you look at Vision 2030, many say that it was launched by former President Daniel Moi. By the time we get to 2002, we get to 2002, and for some weird reason, it was never carried through. It was then relaunched in 2008 by President Mwai Kibaki.
Yes, true.
And with the implementation of the same as we head towards then the Uhuru Ruto government, the first edition of it, and Vision 2030, many say, was dropped at that point. That even as we now proceed to the UDA government, Vision 2030, according to pundits, it has not been touched. So as we talk about trust and belief that Vision 2060 will be taken forward, it will be implemented, many still have the trust deficit that the person spearheading it, the person proposing it, many look at him as if someone who will not carry it forward because based off history, nothing much to show.
I don't think so. Maybe we need to come and open the page per page and we tick. Because most of the things that they are doing today, you see, even the things the president is doing now, is not his vision. I believe it's a Jubilee vision that was picked from the Vision 2030. And he has moved with it. Whatever Uhuru started. Uhuru moved with what Kibaki had started. Because also as a country, it was said very clear, in Vision 2030, you cannot drop projects that were started by the previous regime. Because all of them are for the country and for Kenya, not for you. So for him, I have not seen the president yet implementing anything, unless you tell me about the financial things that happened, which even when Uhuru was coming in, you remember when we didn't spend money going for a rerun, that's the money he picked and started Uwezo Fund. So it was just a name changed. You know, one of the things you must look at this government from 2013, it has come the same way. They have never changed anything they said from 2013. If you want to mark it, and if you want to tick it, and if you follow them. So for me, the 4 agendas that the president, then deputy president, kept on saying, Uhuru, you have dropped the ball and you have gone to other issues, is the agenda he picked. Universal healthcare was started by Uhuru. Mm-hmm. Yes, you remember we did 4 counties. We launched it in Kisumu. He has come, picked it, and now did what their vision was to be. He moved from there. Affordable housing started with Uhuru. He did it in Ziwani, he did it other places, but the way he did it, I think Uhuru felt, no, if I touch it also, it's politically going to hit on me. Let me leave it. He has come, he picked it. So for me, their thinking from 2013, they have carried it forward. And they are still implementing it. But it is within also, when you go back to Vision 2030, we said by 2030 we must have 250,000 units built in Kenya. It's in Vision.
Per year.
It's in Vision 2030, you know. And so, even that universal was, remember Anyang' Nyong'o was the dream, the vision bearer of universal healthcare when he was the public health minister. He tried it, yes. But I remember...
Minister for Planning, yeah.
Then he was Minister of Health.
Health, yeah.
Yes,
during Kibakistan. Mm-hmm. He came with it. You remember he was taken to court by Kotu, by my father Otwoli. Takes him to court, and that's how that dream was killed. So it's something that has been there. They try, it comes out, it gets into a challenge, it is left there. So all these
So there's
things,
an implementation problem with government.
Mm-hmm.
And that implementation problem is what I'm saying. You audit. It's not just this government.
Yeah.
It's governments that have been there.
So if you're
but
saying
in terms
this,
of their short-term framework, when they are doing when we start the budget, which we've already started, yeah? And I'm hoping now everyone is following.
Yeah.
The budget of 2028 is now already, because you have the different teams sitting now, preparing, and you look at Vision 2030, and you bring in now your framework of what you will want to do. It is picked there.
So I'm a bit worried here.
Yeah.
Because if you're telling us, Mheshimiwa, that from 2013 until 2026,
the
same thing has just been doing the rounds, number one. Number two, there's an implementation problem. Number three, we've been unable to then audit what has been the vision until 2030, and we're 3 years away from that. But then you've come in and you brought in a new vision, but the underlying problem here is implementation. Then I'm a bit worried then, because what is going to change for the future if it has been established that there's an implementation issue? Hadn't we better work on the mechanics to ensure that certain things here at the ground are working?
Yeah. But
before
you
now start, you can crawl. Okay, crawl even before you start to try to run.
You see now the challenge you face, and all of us and you, is that the president now who came in to try and push all these things has become an enemy of everyone.
Why? Why?
Because it's a very heavy vision. Oh yeah. It was a very heavy vision. And so if you are pushing it to see things work, to see things that you need to achieve this, at least achieve one of these goals in this vision.
Who's stopping the president from achieving one of those goals?
No, he has tried right now.
Which one?
But
then
who's
stopping him? Who says we don't want you to do that? Stop it. Who said that?
But right now I know we are saying affordable housing is why are we doing it?
But he's continuing with it. That doesn't.
Exactly. He has decided.
But nobody has not stopped him from doing it. He still continues to take our money and do it.
It's just because he decided to be bold. I told you, Uhuru tried and realized, I don't want to get into a lot of this back and forth with the citizens. Let me just do what I can and leave. But he has come in boldly to say this has to work for Kenya. He is picking it from that vision 2030.
Okay.
But then it is also a heavy vision. You hear somebody saying, why are you finishing it? We can stay for 20 years. Is it the same Kenyans? Yeah. There are some of them asking, why are you doing all these things? We can finish it in 20 years.
You see,
Meaning we shall go up to 2050.
Vision 2030 is an agenda for the country, right?
Yes.
And with that, then, one would just want to look at the progress. And the reason I'm talking about that is I've gone to the website itself, and it talks from 2009 and ends in 2017.
Yeah.
So in 2009, it is the launch of Vision 2030. 2009, it was transforming connectivity and transmission. 2010, the new constitution. 2011, governance and rule of law. In 2012, it was about Thika Superhighway when it was commissioned. You get to 2013, and it was all about infrastructure, where the oil jetty in Kisumu was commissioned, creating an alternative regional export. You get to 2017. That is the last time this website
was updated. Imagine.
And with that, then, this being a government project and Vision 2030 being carried by the government of Kenya, from where it is I'm seated, nothing continued since 2017 till 2026. Who do you blame for that? Who do you blame for not believing or trusting that the government of Kenya is implementing this?
No. That's why I'm saying I'm not blaming Kenyans. The same way you'll say is the same way they'll hear. But then it's up to now government to look at. I wish all of them who have been there, they have a delivery unit, isn't it? They needed to have put in everything that has happened within that vision. Because remember, in that vision, now we finished. We went to Naivasha with the SGR, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's not even there. We have moved. We have done more roads. All the southern, the bypasses that were supposed have finished, isn't it? Those were the huge projects that they had. And then you go back to Dongokundu. Remember, you had to do now a road that you can use to go to the southern side of South Coast. Yes, all those things they should put so that Kenyans can see and tick the vision. That this vision in this page talked about, let's say, infrastructure. We were supposed to do this. What I know we have not done, they were supposed to go up to Malaba. They didn't do, isn't it? They were supposed to go up to Kisumu so that you open up the lake and the other regions. They didn't do. And I think they've gone, that's where we now sort of went down and find Tanzania coming up with their vision very well. Because now Tanzania has taken care of DRC, Rwanda can also work within them, and Burundi. And so all those things. And then there was the Lamu upset. I think half of it was done within the same vision. And you needed to have a road that goes where? To Isiolo, where they were supposed to now start building up a new city that comes up. Lamu is supposed to help us to tap into Ethiopia and Sudan. So I think there are many things that's why I was saying, then come back home. You see, these were huge mega projects that were supposed to open up Kenya for you to have better trade, isn't it? Now let's come back into our own internal, is what we need to ask ourselves. How do we help ourselves within the country and people to find themselves with food security? Because those are now good education. How do we bring up a better model for this education? And it was there. But you can see how everyone is grappled. We've grappled with CBE 10 years until we have our kids now in grade 10. 10 good years. Started with the late Makoha, came into Matiangi, came into Amina, and we have moved. But then we need to ask ourselves, before these kids do their first grade 12 or 13, something here must work around to make it better for them. And I'm hoping the sector of education is looking at it. That yes, because next year we close in 844, isn't it? We ask ourselves a few questions that we have young people who never finished school, who went through the 844 system. Is there a way, government? I know there's a way. I know even in my constituency, I have very many young women who are married but have gone back to sit for their exams. So what we do, we just bring in, what I'll say, you agree yourself, but there's a center where all of you And since last year, they've been sitting for those exams.
But what's wrong with doing those things now?
No,
because we're saying that by the time we get to grade 12, 13, I mean, there are 400,000 students.
Saying.
There are 400,000 students today who didn't go to school from January.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It is something we need to start monitoring before even they get to grade 13, so that system does not find itself again with so many young people, the way 844 of late find itself with so many young people who never finished. And they're there. They finished with someone Form 3. Some will tell you, I did Form 2. Now we are pushing them to do Form 4 because Form 4 is about to end. But government has to open up a space and say, we'll put up centers within the counties. If you want to go and do your exam since you never finished, go and have to go for at least 7 months. You are in a class somewhere, and then you do your exams just to have that certificate, because you'll not be able to do what the grade 10s are doing now. It's very different. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it's good to monitor and audit as we move so that we don't find ourselves in the same challenge. Yeah.
I mean, with that and the implementation of the same and where we are today, where other things have not done, does then this government and other governments take the responsibility of having failed to implement Vision 2030? I'm not even getting to 2060. And with that in mind...
even 2060, pray to God you get to 2050. Yes, so leave it. But plan. Are you telling me you give birth to your children and you say, oh, since I'll not be with them, they will just stay like that?
So
no.
My question,
we cannot say that.
My question is, government takes responsibility of having failed to implement Vision 2030 is my question.
Well, they have been implementing. So I don't know what failure they will take. The failure they can only say is that, are we communicating what we are doing for Kenyans to know even this money we are borrowing is working, or what are we doing with it? That should be the question. And it's not just the government. We have focused so much. Why Baba gave us devolution is we get out of this focusing on national government and focus in our regions to develop our counties. But it seems like, the counties can do anything they want, even if they get 430 billion or whatever billion, is okay. No. I thought why China is developing is they went to the provinces. Their provinces go together. Ask yourself even today, even our counties, I wish they came up with even a vision and say, there can be some similarities in what we are doing because Kenya is one. And so, if I walk into Kisumu County, I can walk to Kisii and find something similar. Because in China, you will walk in all their... there's some similarities. Yes, some have developed more than they are, but there's something, they go together. That people will not run away from your hospital and decide now to go to another hospital. That you're leaving now your hospital, you have a good referral hospital, but the governor just decided he's not dealing with it. So where will they go? They go to the next county for treatment. It's not right. It's not fair. And it's the same way. So for me, I will say, let us look at Kenya for us. Yes, President William came in. I didn't vote for him, but he came in. So what do I do with him? He's now the president. I work to ensure, in the small space I have, the people there will have something to say. There was importance of you being there at that time, at that season. He might be the bad one, the everything, but he's the president. Even in the Bible, we had the bad one, the everything. But they were there. They were leaders. For us as Kenya, when he leaves, how do we move on? It should be our question.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Honourable Beatrice Elach is the Member of Parliament for Dagoretti North, and those are words that she's ended with this morning. Thank you very much, Mwashima, for being here with us this morning. Good morning.
I hope I've tried. It was not a good topic.
Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.